What's up YouTube, Element here. I'm going to make this my final Rey Kenobi theory video. There's a lot of people out there who want to see this theory die, but I'm holding firm in my theory. In this video, I'm going to be using accompanying footage to set the tone and context of why this theory is the most valid one to me. But first, a quick disclaimer. The following views are that of a theory. Speculation is a huge part of mystery and intrigue. While many people share my views, there are plenty who don't, and that's okay. This is just a theory, and you don't have to take it so seriously. Let's begin.
This will begin to make things right.
First things first, not much is known about this guy except that he has long served in the Church of the Force and is a strong ally to the Resistance. One thing that stands out is definitely his name structure, Lor San Tekka. Although naming conventions aren't necessarily a sign of familial ties, a false name makes sense. This man is Lor Kenobi, Obi-Wan's estranged son. His age puts his birth around the Clone Wars. Perhaps birthed from Satine Kryze and kept hidden from Obi-Wan to protect his standing with the Jedi Council. In any case, his accent also matches. To me, this man is Rey's father. With his ties to the Church of the Force and possibly Obi-Wan Kenobi, Luke leaves the only piece of the map leading to him with this man. Rey being left on Jakku is a ruse. He could no longer care for her with his ties to the Resistance, and Luke could no longer train her.
Look how old you've become.
Something far worse has happened to you.
Here we could see that Lor San and Kylo know each other, and that we can surmise that Lor San Tekka knew Kylo when he was training, as he can see that Kylo has fallen to the dark side. It comes as no surprise to me that Rey is in seclusion by herself. Many fans point this out to be a clue that she is in fact Luke Skywalker's daughter, citing quotes from J.J. Abrams stating that her isolation is a clue to who she is. But at the time of that quote, we didn't know the plot of Episode 7. With that in mind, the only people in seclusion of note is Obi-Wan and Yoda. Yes, Anakin and Luke both start out in the desert in Tatooine, but they are with either family or relatives, and not in isolation. A lot of fans are attributing this to being scavenged from the saber staff of Darth Maul. I'm indifferent to this opinion, but it's interesting to say the least. A lot of this imagery and symbolism mirrors Obi-Wan's time on Tatooine in isolation. In the Marvel run of Star Wars, in the issues we have thus far, Obi-Wan is struggling with being in isolation and coming to terms with no longer being a Jedi. Many fans attribute this to being a sign that she is Luke's daughter, because he was also a rebel pilot. However, she's a scavenger and has many old trinkets from the war, and this one is from the Battle of Jakku. The helmet belongs to a pilot named Rey, which also points to possibly how she got her name, and that that's not her real name. This part mirrors that of Obi-Wan directly. She's saving a droid who has important intel for the Resistance, while Obi-Wan rescued R2, who had intel for the rebels.
Don't give up hope.
This is self-explanatory. I just wanted to point it out. One of the many things Obi-Wan has repeatedly said, don't give up hope.
Where'd you get this ship?
This clip right here almost eradicates the notion that Han knows who she is. A lot of fans will cite Maz Kanata saying, "Who is the girl?" and a cutaway to signify Han knows her. However, could it be possible that all Han says to Maz is that we met her on Jakku in my Millennium Falcon. She was with the BB-8 who had the map to Luke Skywalker.
This is a Millennium Falcon. You're Han Solo.
Chewie, throw him on a pod. We'll drop him at the nearest inhabited planet.
Wait, no.
So for all you fans who think Han knows exactly who Rey is this why he's so quick to throw her in a pod and drop her off on some planet?
We need your help.
This mirrors Obi-Wan asking Han for help when he needed to get R2 to the rebels with the Death Star plans. Rey is here asking Han for help to get BB-8 to the Resistance.
You got a lot to learn. You got a name?
Rey.
Rey.
A lot of fans think Han knows her, and that's why he's offering her a job. Quite frankly, it's straightforward here. He asks for her name so he can offer her a job. She's proved herself aboard the Falcon, and it would be a disservice to her talents if he only offered her a job because he knows who she is.
If you live long enough, you see the same eyes in different people.
What she says here says to me that if she could see any semblance of Skywalker and Rey, she could see it. But she can't.
Who's the girl?
Obviously, this is on everyone's mind, but to me, it's plain and simple. Maz doesn't know her. And it's quite possible all Han says when the camera cuts away is simply, he found her in the Falcon and wants to help the Resistance, but at the same time get back to Jakku. She says later on, Han told me. So it's a good guess that's all he told Maz. Here we can see Obi-Wan's crate that he kept Anakin's lightsaber in. Huge nod to Obi-Wan, and to those who agree with me on this theory, a huge clue as to how Maz Kanata found the saber. Here we can see Bespin and Luke screaming no when he finds out Vader is his father, and Yoda telling Luke about the Force and how its energy binds us and surrounds them. This part is a bit controversial in the community, but my belief is that this part of the vision is a premonition, a future vision. Kylo is saving Rey, which hints at a redemption arc. Reaffirming the previous vision was of the future, we see the past where Rey is younger and being left behind with Unkar. The ship. Identifying this ship was actually suggested by commenter Danica Talos on my previous video, and the most immediate recognition I can gather is that it looks like the ship in Star Wars Rebels, the Ghost, pictured here, piloted by Hera Syndulla, who's a rebel. It's far-fetched, but I think if there is any connection to Kanan Jarrus and Ezra Bridger, this could be it. Sir Alec Guinness's line, "Do not be afraid," cut to Rey, and Ewan McGregor talking specifically to Rey, "These are your first steps." Quite frankly, this is nail-biting evidence. We hear Yoda, but that's simply a quote that Yoda said to Luke, which could just be part of the lightsaber's memories, including Bespin and Luke's screams. Obi-Wan is the only one speaking directly to Rey in this vision.
That lightsaber was Luke's and his father's before him, and now it calls to you.
Rewind this as much as you can, because the more I see Maz say this, the more I think she's baffled and confused as to why it would call to Rey. Because again, Maz knows Rey is not a Skywalker. This is also reinforced by Ezra Bridger being called to Kanan Jarrus' lightsaber. They have no familial ties, and it's simply the Force calling out to someone sensitive to it.
I see your eyes. You already know the truth. Whomever you're waiting for on Jakku, they're never coming back.
Here she is simply saying that the family she's waiting for on Jakku can no longer come back. Obi-Wan is dead, Lor San Tekka is dead. She can only look forward now. The belonging she seeks is ahead with Luke as a Jedi. She goes on to say, "Close your eyes, feel it. The light, it's always been there. It will guide you."
I am no Jedi, but
The girl I've heard so much about.
This doesn't really come off as someone who recognizes their cousin or even someone they know. Many will tell you that Leia recognizes Rey because she doesn't hug Chewie but hugs Rey. This is why. They've already had their reunion.
You. The scavenger.
Still not convinced Kylo recognizes her, especially when he says you, a scavenger.
You imagine an ocean. I see it. I see the island.
He speaks about dreams she's had of the island. She has memories of being there. Still, nothing here that suggests Kylo knows who Rey is.
Get out of my head.
I know you've seen the map.
The Force is now awakening within Rey here.
Did you?
She's strong with the Force. Untrained but stronger than she knows.
And the droid?
More evidence suggesting that he does not recognize her at all. If he knew her at all, even from Luke's Jedi Academy, he would not say she is untrained.
Most likely been returned to the hands of the enemy.
You will remove these restraints and leave this cell with the door open.
I will remove these restraints and leave the cell with the door open.
Of course, untrained as Kylo would have it, she miraculously picks up on the Jedi mind trick technique made famous by Obi-Wan himself. At this point, I'm inclined to think that with the Force awakening within Rey, Obi-Wan has already made attempts to guide her or open her mind to what is capable. Is it so far-fetched that Obi-Wan, just like he did with Luke, is talking to Rey and saying things like, "You have the ability, use it, do not give up hope"? To me, the look on her face suggests she can't believe that just worked. Well, believe it, kid. Obi-Wan is the one who taught you. This mirrors Obi-Wan sneaking around in the original Death Star trying to take down the shields. This is the nail in the coffin for this theory, the fight that mirrors the fight on Geonosis between Obi-Wan and Anakin Skywalker. The linchpin of my entire Kenobi theory. Going back to the vision of the future where Kylo is saving Rey, it results in Kylo's redemption, and thus propelling Snoke to take action against him. Eventually, the showdown occurs between Snoke and Ben Skywalker in which Rey Kenobi helps. A narrative full circle bringing the Skywalker-Kenobi relationship back to where it all started, as friends, allies. What started with Anakin and Obi-Wan will inevitably be redeemed in their 2 grandchildren. Allow me to stretch my imagination here. She remembers the Force, and is now communing with this person who has been guiding her ever since her awakening. She's now consulting with Obi-Wan or calling out to him. This is where the fight starts to truly resemble the fight between Anakin and Obi-Wan. The coup de grace. The scene that mirrors the fight between Anakin and Obi-Wan, holding each other's lightsabers in a stalemate. This just drives home further the connection that they are trying to establish narratively between Anakin and Obi-Wan and the 2 new characters we see before us. The one thing that opponents of this theory will point to is this moment between Leia and Rey, that Leia finally recognizes Rey. But I hold firm that this is simply Rey looking for comfort after witnessing Han die, and Leia being there to offer it, because Leia knows all too well what happened. She sensed it herself. R2 awakens, and not when Rey is beside him, like everyone claims. The subtitles that accompany this scene say that R2 has been in low power mode, scanning his backup data in search for the missing charts, and that he has found it. So I'm ready to believe his awakening has nothing to do with Rey, and if it does, it's because of the presence of Anakin's lightsaber, not Rey. Remember, R2 was Anakin's droid first. In this scene, we can see Luke standing over someone's grave or memorial. There are many theories surrounding this one as well, but my theory is that it is Obi-Wan's grave. This is the first look he gives to Rey, which suggests recognition. Perhaps she was training with him before she was sent away after the Jedi Massacre. This is the second look we get from Luke, which is that of recognition of his father's lightsaber, which he lost at Bespin. To me, this is way too much of a symbol harkening back to the old films where Obi-Wan is giving Luke his father's lightsaber. This scene is a mirror of that, with hopefully Rey Kenobi delivering to him his father's lightsaber yet again. That's it, guys. That's all. I've waited a long time for the Blu-ray to finally arrive and do a theory breakdown with accompanying footage, and I've made my case here. If you agree with this theory, give the video a like and a subscribe. If you disagree, I understand. Please don't take this video as a proclamation. At the end of the day, we're all fans of Star Wars, and Rey could be the daughter of any number of people, including Luke's daughter. But we are here speculating because the mystery eludes us, and it's in our human nature to seek understanding of things we have no idea of. I look forward to hearing all of your thoughts and theories going forward until we can finally get the answer revealed to us. Until then, guys, may the Force be with you.